Okay, we're live. Hi, today we're talking about water softeners, right? We want to know what is a great water softener. I know why that everyone has asked for this video over and over again. It's because it's confusing. There's a lot of confusion in the internet. If you log online and you want to find a water softener, there is a variety of things that you can choose from. And so people contact me on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube, and they ask me, what's the best water softener? What's this guy? What's this one? What's this one? Why are there so many names out there, right? I mean, cars is what, like 6 manufacturers, 7 manufacturers? There's like 50, 60, 70 different companies that are out there selling water softeners. They look like themselves, right? So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about water softeners so that you understand what you're looking at. First, I want to explain why we need a water softener. Excuse me. We need water softeners because we're going to take rock off the water droplet. We're looking for soft water. Why are we looking for soft water? We're looking for soft water because the rock that attaches itself to a water softener actually oxidizes it and it clogs the plumbing of some people's homes. I've got a picture right here. This is a pipe that you can see that actually gets calcium buildup in it, and it reduces the water pressure in a home, and so that causes some issues. In addition to that, people complain about white film on their dishes, their clothing, their laundry gets dull, their shower stall has a lot of white film in it, their dishwasher breaks, their water heater breaks. Oh my God, that's a huge thing. Water heaters breaking all the time. So it's like, people constantly saying, what's causing that? Well, it's rock. It's attached to the water droplet. This water droplet is like the best party on the planet. Everything wants to jump on board and go for the ride. So whether it's a carcinogen like radium-228 and 226, trihalomethylenes, whatever it is, it likes to ride along with this water droplet as it travels through the plumbing of your home. However, when it gets oxidized, which means it hits air, the rock pops off. This is why it causes like gray staining in your toilets, right? You got the rings that occur. Your dishes look terrible. Your glassware looks terrible, all because of the rock that's attached to the water. Now, there are 3 ways that we can take rock, two ways really that we take rock out, and a third way that's marketed online. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that. First and foremost, the largest, and what you see behind me, is ion exchange. It's water softeners. They literally attract or pull, or the calcium sort of pops off the water droplet, and it attaches itself to resin beads or filter material so that it takes it and then flushes it down the drain. That's the most common way. The second common way, or second popular way, is what's marketed online is salt-free conditioners. Now, I want to make sure you're clear. We have salt-free conditioners. They are available, and they do protect the plumbing of the home, so this doesn't get clogged. But that's about all we've been able to see. We've sold several of these, and we even had to return several of them because the people that bought it had a misconception. They were looking for the benefits, like they wanted softer hair, or they didn't want dry, itchy skin, or their children had bad acne, so they wanted to be able to alleviate that, or they wanted to stop the white film on their dishes. So a lot of people that want that look, and they can't stand using salt on a water softener, so they go, I want salt-free, and everyone logs online, or they call us and they want salt-free, and we got it. It's just that it doesn't take the calcium off the water droplet. All it does is, through its technology, it tries to hold it onto the water droplet. So if it holds it onto the water droplet and it travels through, it sounds like that makes sense, right? It'll just go down the drain. Well, it's not true. The minute, again, it hits air or it gets warm through a water heater, the rock oxidizes off the water droplet, and so you don't get those benefits. The only benefit that we've been able to truly see is that it protects the plumbing of your home. Now, the third most popular way is, and it's really not that popular, is whole house reverse osmosis. That's, again, a salt-free way to be able to remove calcium off the water droplet. I don't have one here because they are very big and very expensive. So they are they start around $10,000 for a small house. So they're not really that viable. Yes, we have some clients. We have some people who really wanted good, clean water, and they didn't want to use salt. But more importantly, they also had very highly allergic conditions to other contaminants in the water. In fact, we just met one through Costco not too long ago, and she couldn't even bathe in the water. She was using bottled water. So whole house reverse osmosis not only took the rock out, but it also took out some of the contaminants like chlorine and fluoride, which she was really complaining about. So again, now that's the third way, is using reverse osmosis. Now, this video is really to talk about, or today's event is to talk about water softeners. Water softeners like these here, there's a variety of them out there, and there's a lot of confusion. And I'm going to try to break it down very simply for you today. There's basically, there's basically two types of people, or two categories of people who make water softeners. There's either a major manufacturer who makes them, or there's a distributor, and a distributor could also be me as a retailer. Now, I brought with me here today a bag of filter material called resin. And you can see it right in my fingers here. We've got some filter material, and it's called resin. And maybe Dave can bring me out the water softener off to the side here. We have a clear glass one that's going to be there. Thanks, Dave. This clear glass one is a good example of what resin is inside of a tank. And all that someone has to do is basically assemble one for you in their garage. In fact, if Dave wanted to start a water softener company today, Dave could do that. All he's got to do is he can contact one of 3 major manufacturers, Clack, Fleck, or Autotrol. Again, here's Fleck, here's Clack, and here is Autotrol. So he could contact one of those 3 companies, and then he can find a tank from another manufacturer, and he can find the resin from another manufacturer, and Dave can assemble one in his garage, and he can put an ad online and say Dave's or Andrew's water softener, and we sell it for $19.95 a month, or we can sell it to you for $800, right? Sounds like a great deal, right? What you don't know is that, yes, maybe the control valve is made in America, maybe the tank is, and maybe the resin is, and maybe it's not. That's really the difficulty. Maybe it's not. Maybe Dave, in order to be able to be better priced and make as much profit as he can, or Andrew does that, we buy a cheap Chinese tank, a cheap Chinese resin, and this is the most important part, one of the most important parts about the water softener, and we say that it's good quality stuff, and we sell it to you. Or we put even on our literature, great quality. Now, who you'd have to trust there? Really, it's the Chinese. So the Chinese today make so much more of water softeners than they ever had in the past. And for me, it's been difficult as the owner of Angel Water, because it's like the Chinese stuff, we go back to people's home every year, because every manufacturer says you need annual service. And so we go back and we find that the cheaper resin made in China and the cheaper tanks, and even some of the cheaper control valves that are out there that are made there, they break, or they reduce water pressure, or they don't do what they say they're going to do. And within 3 or 4 years, it's causing water pressure problems, or the resin's going through the house, which means it's clogging faucets. Or we have other issues like, it becomes mushy and it stops softening water. That's what you need it for, right? So we've had a lot of difficulty as we tried and experimented with the Chinese filter materials and tanks. We even had floods. We had Chinese tanks that had a flood, and guess what? Guess who had to pay for the flood? We did. Why? Because the insurance company that was upset with this, they couldn't go to China to get the manufacturer to pay. So our insurance had to pay. So it's very difficult for us. And so from that perspective, we have said we will do it for you. We're a soldier. We'll do anything that you want. However, we also need a waiver. We want to tell you that you need to sign a waiver if you want to use one of these cheap Chinese tanks, that are going to be out there because we don't want to have the liability and our insurance to have to pay for it if it does flood your house. So what you can do is ask who you're buying it from. Learn from them. You want to know, where is this made? Is it American made? Did you assemble it or did you buy it from someone? Again, so many dealers in the industry, they'll either make them themselves or they buy it from a distributor. Look, all we have to do is put a sticker on here and it says it's Angel Water. And I can give it a model number like 3000. Now, we want to be very clear that that's a very typical thing in the industry, and this is why it gets so confusing. So what we like to do is we like to also highlight that there are manufacturers out there that make it from head to toe. You know, one of the big ones out there is a company called Eco Water. Also, you'll see that Water Boss or GE, they do that. Now, the big box products like the GE and the Water Boss, they do make them from head to toe. However, today, we don't see that they're NSF 44 listed. Also today, what we find is that they don't last very long. They come with a 1-year warranty. So the price is great. They're under $1,000, but they come with a 1-year warranty. And as a service center for these places, for these companies, we can just tell you, it's sort of like, well, why do you think the manufacturer only gives you a 1-year warranty on it? It's because that's about how long they last. I mean, they make them really cheap. That's the whole goal, is they make them cheap so they can get them past a year. You can't return it to the Home Depot or Menards where you buy it from. And so now what? You're stuck having to call us. And guess what? When we sold them, we had customers come and knock on my door and go, hey, what's going on? This thing stinks. Or they yell at us even when we go out there and do the service. They're like, yeah, I can't believe you guys are a GE service center and this thing has only lasted 2 years. And you're like, I'm sorry, I'm not the one that sold it to you, you know? I'm sorry, I'm not the one that made it. I'm sorry, I'm not the one that actually invested into it. So you have to ask yourself, are you looking for something that's going to, A, last a long time? If you are, you're going to want to look for a higher quality, and you're going to probably have to invest a little bit more money. If, however, you're looking to flip the home that you're in, and you only need something to last for a year or two, then maybe the big box items would work. And maybe the Dave's water softener or Andrew's water softener might work for you because it'll last for a short period of time. By the way, when a dealer assembles one or a distributor assembles one, the valve comes with a 5-year warranty. Most of them come with a 5-year warranty for the valve only. They don't warranty the tank if it's made in China. They don't warranty the resin in many cases. So they don't stand behind that. So there is no softness guarantee. There's no way for you to know that it's going to work. There's no way to know that Dave sat there and didn't fill it with rocks instead of resin, right? There's no way to know Dave didn't use cheap Chinese resin or great American-made NSF 44 resin. So that's why you have to do a little research and you have to ask these kind of questions to your dealer. Sometimes you can also go to a little bit more expensive product like the Eco Water ERR3702 that you see at the corner there. That the manufacturer is owned by a company, Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett's that business, their model, and the reason why I have enjoyed selling their product is because they certify the product from head to toe. They actually prove to you that it's a water softener. They sent it in to National Sanitation Foundation, where they not only ran water through it, they added not only calcium to the water to make sure that it took it out, but they also added radium-228 and radium-226, and they added barium to the water, and they proved that it takes that out. The majority of Americans' water in the United States has radium-228 and 226 in the water. So if you want to have proof that it takes it out, if you want to have assurances, you can't just trust me. You can't trust Dave. The thing is you should probably take a look at the company that manufactures it and says, did they submit it to National Sanitation Foundation? Did they get it tested? And was it certified? Because if it was, then that's your proof. Now, unfortunately, yes, it costs a little bit more money, but if you're going to live in the home for a long period of time, something like that might be more worthwhile. Again, this is all about what you want, what you think you need. Now, the only other factor that you want to look at when buying a water softener is not only is it American made, not only is it NSF 44 listed, but the last thing is how many gallons per minute can it handle. Now I want to show you something. You can see that here's a pretty good sized water softener. Back here we have a little teeny water boss, and we have a small GE unit over there. You can see the difficulty that a lot of people have when they're logging online. They're like, I wonder if that's going to work the same as, something else. Here's a cheap, salt-free conditioner. So this thing is so lightweight, it's like nothing, right? So when you look online, you have to be careful. You see pictures and they look like they're this big. But the reality is it could be something really small like the little water boss there. So do yourself a favor, maybe visit the facility that you're going to buy it from. Make sure you see it, because the smaller that it is, the less gallons per minute. And the reason why that's important is because if you have a family of 4 and everyone takes a shower at the same time, or you're doing dishes and you're doing laundry and someone goes to take a shower, if it can only handle 3 or 4 gallons a minute like the water boss there, you got to say, is that what I really want? Now, if you're living at home and it's just you're a single person and it's just you by yourself and you just bought a house and you're going to flip it, well, maybe that's a perfect product for you. That's okay. But if you're a family of 4, which majority of our clients are, we say, well, we don't really want these cheap, small units. We might want to invest into something that's a little bit bigger that handles 12 to 15 gallons of water per minute. Okay, so those were the big things. We had Tom from Iowa who asked us about gallons per minute. I had NSF 44 has been a consistent question across the board. We had a Mary out of Texas. We had a Jerry out of California write us, and we had I forgot another lady's name, and she was out of, I think, Nebraska. So I hope that I was able to address that. I do understand it's confusing. It's really helpful before you invest this money to maybe visit the facility that you are buying it from, because that way you can see it. Is it big? I mean, I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'7", so you can see some of the better quality ones get closer to me in height. Conversely, the little cheap ones, they're really short. And again, on the brochure, they could look amazing. Also, don't forget to ask for NSF 44. 44. NSF 44. I can't spell that out enough for you, because that's the leveling field. That's the thing that says, hey, if this product is NSF 44 listed, it means it's certified for radium 228, 226, barium, and it's certified as a water softener. So again, a huge, huge factor. And lastly, what we found selling tons of these, we must install 10, maybe 8, 10 units a day. I don't know. We have 3 plumbing trucks running around doing a couple a day, 2 or 3 a day. So we have found that the cheaper they are up front, the faster that they have problems in the long run. And so it's sort of like a loss leader. You might be able to buy one cheap, but you're going to pay us a lot more for service. If you spend a little bit more money up front, you're not going to spend as much money on service, and you're not going to have as many problems. And don't forget, a broken water softener costs you money. It costs you money because your electric or a gas bill goes up from your water heater. It ruins your dishwasher. It ruins your dishes. It ruins your clothing. So, usually we try to walk people through the fact that it would be a little bit better to spend a little more money up front, and you'll save more money in the long run. So I hope that this was helpful. We did have also another Kathy ask a question just about warranties. I hope I addressed that. Warranties are dependent on that retailer. The retailer is the one who's going to basically, they write it on their brochure like Dave's water softener. So you got to make sure they're going to be around for a while, because again, a lot of the OEMs or manufacturers, they're only giving a warranty on the control valve, not the whole unit. And it's the whole unit working in concert that's softening the water, removing the rock, removing that barium, removing the radium out of the water. And again, that's really helpful. Lastly, I just want to remind you guys, you are made of water. If you want to live longer, if you want to have more energy, drink more water. You are made of water. Our body is 60% water. Your brain is 90% water. Children, it's like they're 75% water. So that's why I'm so passionate about teaching people that if you're going to buy a water softener, get an NSF 44 listed one to get that radium and that barium out of the water. We want to make sure that we're making it as safe as we can. So while you're bathing in it, while you're showering in it, while you're sitting there inhaling the steam from it, let's get rid of the carcinogens if we can out of it, right? It just seems logical to me that we'd want to do something like that versus buying, an Andrew or Dave's, best water softener today. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, you can always reach me here at Angel Water, which is 847-382-7800. We had Eleni out of Texas that she reached out to me. Hopefully I helped her out, and I'm always available to answer those questions. Or you can also reach us by visiting our website, angelwater.com. Or you can send me an Instagram notes, that works as well, or comment on the video as you see it on YouTube. So again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.